Well, happy 4th of July. This is going to be one of two. I've got a 1975 Dodge Power Wagon. It was essentially given to me, and the motor didn't run, and I just wanted the new carburetor and the new electronic distributor that had been put on it, and so that's what I offered to pay for, and he gave me the whole truck. I've got another video on here just before this that shows where we first tried to start it, and it fired, and I was pretty excited about that. And then I started working to try to make it run, and there were lots of problems with this truck. Number one, the alternator was grounded out, was bad, so I swapped it with another one I had in the shop. The voltage regulator was bad, so I had to replace that. And so trying to figure out what was going on with this truck. We could get power to on the start cycle, but it wouldn't run, and we didn't have any power to our ballast resistor and the ignition control. So I started tracing. So one of the things you want to watch for is this little green wire is the field wire that comes from the voltage regulator. That was grounded out. It was grounded out right about here. And so what that does, it tells the alternator put out full power all the time. And so that alternator put out everything it had until it died. So probably 110 volts at like 70 amps until it fried itself. Fried all the wiring, and then the one of the distributor wires, it had grounded out in here. It had gotten hot and melted, and it was shorted out, so that wasn't working. They had put a 12-volt feed directly to the coil, so the coil was getting 12 volts all the time, which is wrong. It's supposed to drop down once it started running. So I took all the wire loom apart all the way through and tracked my signals all the way, and then I did a modification. If you look at Ram Charger Central, you can see this modification. Basically, I drilled out where the power comes out of the cab, and then also where the power goes in the cab. I just drilled through those two connectors and ran the wires in and hooked them directly. Then I put them together, and then I put them with a 16-gauge fusible link right to the starter relay. And then from the alternator, I rerouted it. Instead of going into the plug, I just put it directly with a 14-gauge fusible link right to the starter solenoid. So what happens then is I've got two legs of power now going into the cab, and I've got all my power coming from the alternator. Everything is right here. The battery's being charged from here. Everything works from here. So now I have good power all the way through the cab. This red 10-gauge wire is hot coming off the ammeter. I hooked the black and the red on the ammeter together in the dash. So I'm just bypassing the ammeter, which is a weak link in these rigs. Dodge Brothers use an ammeter left over from the Model T, and it's a weak link. And then these connectors are weak too. When you're running, if you have a runaway alternator like this thing had, it just melts these connectors. So unconnect these, run I don't remember what size drill bit I ran through there, just enough to make a hole, and run this 10-gauge wire through. And then I went and rewrapped all the wires again. The connector for all the power, all the reds, is right here, the factory connector. It's right here. On this truck, when we first started, it didn't even have, the fusible link comes out. It comes out of the wire loom right here as a red wire. It was non-existent. It didn't even have a fusible link. It wasn't even hooked back to the starter relay. Little things like this, I don't know if I can show you. This blue wire right here that comes out of the wire loom is just cut off. Well, this goes to the hazards, and I've got to get power to that. I've rewrapped all these wires. I had them all undone. I bought factory wrapping and rewrapped all these. And so now the only thing I've got to do is put new spark plug wires on it, and should go. I've got good continuity from my main power post on my alternator all the way over to my starter relay. My ballast resistor, when I turn the key on, it lights up and steps the voltage down like it's supposed to. I've got power to my ignition control. So when I put the battery on, I've got power all the way through. My system's hot now, and so all I've got to do is put, like I say, put the spark plug wires on and hit the key, and this thing should fire off. So this is part 1 of 2. Hopefully the second one will have this thing running. Once again, happy 4th of July. Bye.